the opening of Wednesday, November 1st, Oldham County Code Enforcement Board. The first item on the agenda will be the minutes. Do I have an approval for the minutes? Thank you.
I'll make a motion we approve the minutes.
Do I have a second? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Okay. We're ready to go to the public hearing first.
So our first case today is citation number 710 and 719. So this is citation 710 and 719 of 1630 Harmony Point Circle. The owner on record is Blue Horizon Homes of Prospect, Kentucky. This hearing was not requested. This is the general location of the property off Highway 42. This is a violation of the construction site runoff ordinance. This is a copy of the notice of violation and referral for citation from the Oldham County Engineering Office. These are a few of the pictures that the Oldham County engineers took on July 17th. Couple more pictures. Here's a copy of the citation that was citation number 710 that was issued. This one was tabled from last code board hearing. This is for citation 710. It was paid in the amount of $500 on August the 25th of 23. The second one is a violation, the second citation, citation 719, is a violation of the illicit discharge ordinance. Here's a few pictures taken by the Oldham County Engineering Department on September the 12th. This is a notice of violation and referral for citation from the Oldham County Engineering Office. It was issued in mail on September the 14th. This is a copy of the notice of compliance from the Oldham County Engineering Office dated October the 9th for both citations. Both of them are in compliance. Citation 719 was paid in the amount of $250 on October 31st. This is a receipt of the payment. So I'm guessing this case would just be closed out?
Your recommendation is to
Close the case.
Close the case.
Both citations.
Since the mitigation has been done and the fine has been paid.
Yeah, correct.
And so we just need a motion and, correct you? Just a motion to close?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll make a motion we close this case.
Okay, do I have a second?
A second.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Okay, this one's closed.
The second citation, citation number 713, this also was tabled from the last code enforcement hearing. It is for 6605 Clore Lake Road. The owner on record is Joe Crow Builders. This hearing was not requested. This is the general location of the property located off Highway 329. This is a violation of the illicit discharge ordinance. This is a notice of violation and referral for citation from the Oldham County Engineering Office. Here's a few of the pictures that you all saw at the last code board hearing with the concrete that was washed out in the drainage ditch. A couple more pictures that was taken. This is a copy of the citation that was issued on August the 15th. The citation was issued to Sunshine Ready Mix. They were the ones that washed out in the drainage ditch. It was sent by certified mail. These are some photos taken July the 31st showing that the property has been cleaned up and a notice of compliance that they issued. And here's a receipt that the citation has been paid in the amount of $250. My recommendation that this case be closed, the citation's been paid, and the site has been cleaned up. It's in compliance.
Okay. Based on the recommendation to close, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Okay, second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
So the next one is citation numbers 716, 720, 723, and 724. This is, the owner on record is Pamela D. Elkins of 7401 Hemlock Avenue. This hearing was not requested. Hey, Ryan, how do I get the slideshow up? Come here real quick. Thanks. This is the general location of the property. It is off Hemlock Avenue in the Lake Louisville area. This is a violation of the Oldham County nuisance ordinance and Oldham County zoning ordinance. This is one that you all have seen in the past. Here are some pictures that were taken on June the 6th of 2023. Couple more pictures. Required for compliance, you had junk, trash, debris, and building material that needed to be removed or properly stored, and vehicles and trailers that weren't running or unlicensed for the current year that needed to be removed, garaged, or concealed from the road and neighboring properties. This is a final order that was issued by you all at the June the 12th hearing. In that final order, you all gave him 90 days to have the property cleaned up. If not cleaned up, per the final order, a weekly citation was to be issued until the property was in compliance. The 90 days would have been up on September the 5th. So the first citation that I wrote was September the 11th.
Adam, before you start talking about the new facts, let's get you sworn in.
Do what?
Let's get you sworn
Sworn
in.
in.
Okay.
We moved ahead.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give this board is true and accurate to the best of your belief and knowledge?
I do.
Thank you.
So the following pictures were taken on September the 11th, which is what enacted me to write citation 716. This is the property. Looking up at the garage, you can still see the junk and debris that's located on the property on the left-hand side. There's also a vehicle that I didn't get fully in there. This is, the picture on your left is junk and debris looking up towards the garage. You can see this from the roadway, the vehicle on the left, the red truck. And then the picture on the right is me down the road a little bit looking towards the house. You can see the trailers, piles of rock, the vegetation's overgrown, trailers, junk, and debris. A few more pictures from September the 11th.
I'm sorry, please, not right now. Adam's speaking, thank you.
These pictures were taken on September the 11th. A few other pictures. Once again, junk, debris, and vehicles with and the property's overgrown. This was citation number 716, was the first citation that was issued. It was issued on September the 12th. All of the following citations you're going to see were issued by hand until the property owner requested that all future citation be mailed. A copy of the final order was also delivered with each citation that I sent to the property owner. So on the right, you have the, and I think in the packets, citation number 716 that was issued. On a week later, on September the 18th, I drove by to do a site visit. Some progress was starting to take place. The picture on the left, again, is me looking up towards the house. The picture on the right was down a little ways farther. I try to get all these pictures from the same location, but it's a little tough sometimes. Once again, you can see it's a little, on the picture on the right, it's overgrown. You've got the trailers parked out front. You've got junk and debris laying out front. A couple other pictures, the picture on the left, you can still look up in there and see the junk and debris. You've got the red truck with the black hood. I can't tell, the vehicle hasn't moved in some time since I've been taking these pictures. The picture on the right is that you can see from the road is like a carport with all kinds of junk, debris piled up in that, and the overgrown brush. Some more pictures looking over the fence, how overgrown the property is, and there's several vehicles that are covered with the vegetation. The picture on the right is, once again, looking up to the left side of the garage, and you can see all the junk and debris that's laying up against the side of the garage. After those pictures, I did issue citation number 720. That citation was issued on September the 20th. That citation had a fine amount of $400. The previous citation was a $250 fine. A week later, on September the 25th, I went out and did an inspection. The picture on the left is the left side of the garage. As you can see, very little has been done with cleaning up the junk and debris along the side of the garage. The picture on the right is another picture of the side of that garage. Once again, you still have pretty much the same stuff that's been there for all three pictures. This is looking up between the fence. You can see what appears to be possibly a motor, the red truck sitting there, some trailers, equipment, and junk and debris laying along, just scattered about the ground. The picture on the right is also looking up between that fence to get a good view of what's in the carport. Once again, you just got stuff laying all over the ground. On the left-hand side is me down the road a little bit. You can see the junk and debris out front. That trailer's still there, the red truck, the vegetation overgrowth. The picture on the right is looking over the fence. Nothing's been done with that vegetation. And you can still see, if you look closely, there's several vehicles in there that are overgrown with the vegetation. And the trailer out front with junk and debris on it, sitting out by the road. That issued citation 723. It was issued on September the 26th. It had a fine amount of $400. On October the 2nd, I did another site visit. Once again, the first picture you see on the left is a picture on the left-hand side of the garage. You can still see a lot of the same stuff that was there before still there. Now there's a little bit, the trailer's parked there. You have a piece of equipment that's been moved over there. The picture on the right is looking between the fence. Once again, you still see a lot of the same debris that you saw several in the previous pictures. Not much has changed there. The picture on the left is looking over the fence with the overgrown vegetation. Several vehicles back in there that are overgrown. The picture on the right here is looking into that carport, which, again, the overgrown vegetation and all the junk and debris that can be seen. The picture right here on the left, just a picture showing that red truck with the black hood, it's still sitting there. On October the 4th, I issued citation number 724. On this citation, I think on one of the previous ones I showed that I said that there was beginning to be some improvement, but with this citation, really there was no improvement taking place at this point in time. This citation was issued on October the 4th. I was out there earlier this week. The current condition, I'm continuing to issue weekly citations. The property was beginning to improve, but recent visits have shown no improvement. My last visit this week showed what appeared to be a new vehicle and junk being added. There was a truck backed in with a truck that I haven't seen on the property before on a trailer that was with a motor in front, and it was backed into the property. It wasn't unloaded from the trailer, but it was sitting on the property. And that ends this for the 4 citations based off your all's recommendation to issue weekly citations until the property was in compliance.
Okay. Do you have any witnesses here to speak on behalf?
I don't think there's any for here
Okay,
on behalf.
would the respondent like to speak? Would you please raise your right hand? Give us your name and address.
Pamela Elkins, 7401 Hemlock Avenue, Crestwood, Kentucky.
All right, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give this board is true and accurate to the best of your belief and knowledge?
I do.
Thank you.
Are you going to put your camera, are you going to show pictures?
I have pictures.
I think if you put them on the black table, we'll be able to put them on the overhead.
I don't know how to do all that. I don't.
Switch that. but
Okay,
yeah, We'll all be able to see, we have monitors here.
okay. Okay. First of all, I do agree, yes, it was trashy back earlier in the summer. It had been pouring down rain a lot, and we wasn't gonna move stuff and tear the yard up. And then it become 110 degrees outside, and I have uterine cancer. My husband has asthma. And since then, like he was saying, it started to be cleaned up, but a lot of those pictures he showed, like the truck that came back on the trailer that was there before, but then he didn't see it again because we got rid of 8 vehicles. A lot of those are not there anymore. The one that was back on the trailer, my son was using that, the motor out of it. He took it off to take the motor out and brought it back, and the next day, well, it came back on a Friday. Monday, it went to the scrap yard. On the trailer. Never came off the trailer. And the red truck that he was showing in the driveway, that's my son's work truck. He drives every day. Well, he don't drive it every day. He uses the company truck with the trailer on it. So every now and then, a lot of times when he comes home from work, he brings his equipment home. Because, I mean, we do work. 95% of the people in Lake La Villa are either on dope or disability. We work. Everything we have there. That big pile of concrete that you see that's laying there, that's getting ready to go behind the fence where the debris is. And in Lake La Villa, there is nothing but debris. If you go back and listen to the court hearings in 2005 when we put that garage up, actually, we dug all that out where the fence is at. We had probably about 45 loads of dirt to come out of there. Same people that are complaining now was complaining then. So then we had to move after digging all that out, garage up farther. So then we had to put a fence around it. We went to court, put the fence around it, and the judge, it's all on record, 2005, said anything that we have, put behind the fence where you can't see it. And that's what we did. But the things that come in and out every now and then is my son works and brings home equipment because he needs it for a job the next day. And the rest of the vehicles, you can go look over here at Circuit Clerk. I paid like $3,000 a year, and they're not junk vehicles. I pay about $3,000 a year. And I do agree there's going to be more stuff done soon. But like I said, I've been sick, and I can't do it. But I have been harassed by the same 2 people. I don't come from trash. If I knew what trash was in Lake La Villa when I moved there, I would never even move there. Only reason we moved there is to get a little land, get away from living on top of people. But it's worse here than it was in Louisville.
If you're going to show pictures, Ann, you can just.
Yeah, I don't-
Once she gets them up, because it.
Okay. I'll use he's got the pictures better that he was talking about. I have the front and side of my yard, but I don't have what he was talking about. Okay. Oh, okay. All right.
Yep,
Oh,
turn it around, yeah.
okay. Now, that's in my yard where he was seeing all the trucks and trailers and stuff. That was, pictures he had was previous pictures. This is today. Now, they're probably, like I said, previous picture of my son's work truck that he comes home from work. Because as you can see, there's only one way in and out of our driveway. So he don't want to block our way of getting out for when we go to work the next day. So he will pull in the yard. And that's if it's not muddy. Okay? Okay, here's the other one down by the fence. That's the fence in front of my fence. The fence we put up, he was over, had to be standing on his truck to get the side view of all the other junk that was behind the fence. That's right there. You can't even see back there unless you're in access somehow in my yard. Okay? And this is what the judge told us to do. Okay, let me see. Okay, now there is, at the end of the fence, that one trailer and my husband's dump trailer that he uses.
That's
He-
a picture
he-
today.
That's
picture
today. He works for a realtor and he moves in and out things when they get empty houses. And he uses that trailer.
What's I'm sorry, what's the white thing sticking up over that fence back there?
That's the top of that carport
Okay.
that he was talking about earlier, which is all in there, and that has tarps over it, that is lumber that we are using to put inside of our big garage. That's lumber and his tools for his snow plow. It's not junks, old refrigerators, stoves, it's work tools. And I may have, let me see. I may have a picture. Did you get a picture inside of that? That, what, here, wait a minute, here it is. Oh, okay. Here's the one. The red truck that he's complaining about, said it hasn't moved, moves all the time. That's my son's.
The red one does too.
Yeah, that's my son's daily driver when he's home from work. And he backs it down at that driveway. It's licensed and tagged and insured. It's licensed and tagged and insured. He backs it down there always so we can get in and out of our drive. And in behind that is that open carport that he was showing you that said had all kind of debris and this and that in it, which it's lumber. And like I said, my husband's snow plow. And you can't even see in it when his truck's there.
Okay, Ms. Elkins, do you have anything else you want to offer at this time?
No, but if you want to see them, I have some other pictures of my neighbors since he's been complaining on me that my neighbor still has not done nothing with, but he says they will, but they have not. And this is debris junk, not cars and trailers.
I appreciate it, but we can't do
Okay.
that. Thank you.
Okay. But yeah, like I said, I don't care what anybody else does. I work every day and I work hard. Always worked all my life. And I don't care what other people, and my neighbor next door and my neighbor across the street, neither one of them complains. The one that is complaining, my oldest son took his girlfriend 15 years ago and he ain't left us alone. He rides by my house giving us the finger. Anything he can do, he does. And he's harassed us for years.
Well, I'm certainly sorry about that. If that's not
Right.
related to this case.
But that's why I say, but other than he lives way up the road, down another road, has no business to what I'm doing at my house. And my neighbor next door and my neighbor across the street, the only two neighbors I have, We've been neighbors for 25 years, and they have never complained. And they've even came to me and said, Pam, what you do over is your business. They have no complaints.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Elkins. You may have a seat. We may have some more questions in
Thank
just a few minutes. Adam,
Can I say something?
okay?
You already went ahead.
But you have to come up.
Yeah. Oh,
I need to swear you in.
Yeah. I swear to tell the truth.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give this board is true and accurate to the best of your belief and knowledge?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
State your name, please.
Tony Elkins.
Thank you.
I want to ask you, did you or did you not?
Excuse- sir,
did he
you need
t-
to speak toward
He
us.
told my neighbor a week ago, my yard looks a whole lot better. So he just sat there and said, I ain't did hardly nothing. So that's a lie right there he done told. And he swore on the thing. He told my neighbor my yard looked a whole lot better.
Okay, are you going to talk about your case?
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay,
That's what I'm talking about. He said my yard looked a whole lot better, told my neighbor that.
okay.
Not only that, I mean, everybody else could get by with everything, but he's on us. I done heard a rumor that he was going to get me. I done heard a rumor from somebody else. So
don't know who you're speaking
he's on me big time, but everybody else got cars backed up in the weeds, no tags. The car without any wheels, he made him put wheels on weed eater around. Been sitting there for a year. But he works for the county. That's probably why he's getting by with what he's
Mr.
doing.
Elkins, this is about your citations.
Well, that's fine. My yard's cleaned up a lot.
Okay, because that's what we're working with today.
Yeah.
All the other things we don't need to talk about
Well,
right now, okay?
yeah.
Because Adam has a job to do, you have a job to do.
Yeah.
So let's figure out how we're going to
I
get
think
this
he's going a
resolved.
little far with his jobs, but I think.
So what else are you going to be able to tell us?
Well, my yard looks a lot better. And our car's got tags. And the truck he was talking about was on the trailer. The truck was sitting there a while back, and he complained about. My son took it in there and pulled the motor out, and I took the scrapyard the next day. So,
Okay. Thank you very much. Adam?
So I'd like to go back, and I understand that she took pictures today. I'd like to go back to the pictures I have taken, and if you'll notice, all of my pictures are date stamped and time stamped for the time that I was there. So when we met last time, and this case has been going on for over a year. So when I met with the final order last time, the final order was to issue a citation weekly until it was in compliance. And I'll use these pictures right here. So on September the 18th, when I went out there, these were the pictures that I took. It's date stamped. As far as the condition of the property as of today, I did not go out there today. But on the 18th, this was what I saw, the vegetation. I understand in her pictures where she showed that you couldn't look up through there and see. If you look, the picture of the right here, well, let me find one where you can. This is me out by the roadway. And if you look up in there, the red truck that I was talking about, the red one, use the picture on the left. You got the red truck with the black hood over there, kind of at the fence. So if you look at this truck right here, that's the one that I had been talking about, not the red truck that was coming and going that was parked in the center. Between this fence and this fence is where I usually take a lot of my pictures to look back up in there and see. This is the junk and debris that when you drive down the road, you can look straight up in there. If there's not several vehicles blocking that road, the view, you can look right up in there and see all this junk and debris. And you can see right into this if that trailer right there is not parked in the way. And when you look in there, you see all kinds of, I know he said it's lumber, but I see a lot of plastics, and there's quite a bit of stuff in there. It's just not lumber and a snowplow. The snowplow, a lot of times, he keeps on the left side of the garage. I have noticed that. So, but I wanted to say, as far as they go by saying that my pictures are old pictures, these pictures were based off the citation that was issued that week.
Yeah, that was September.
And these pictures were taken September the 11th. And the citation went the wrong way, sorry. The citation was written September the 12th, citation 716. So the citation was issued the day after I took the pictures, based off the final order last time that said to issue a citation every week until the property's in compliance. So I think this is the red truck that they were talking about that comes and goes. Vehicles I have no issue, but it's the vehicles that stay there all the time and the constant parking of trailers, the big piles of gravel. You've always got lumber. The vegetation's way overgrown the fence. I mean, it's an eyesore. And I do get numerous complaints of this property through Lake Louisville.
Are the trailers not allowed to be parked out there?
So all trailers are supposed to be licensed in Oldham County per the ordinance. So if you look at one of your citations that you have in your packet, I think if you go down on the second page of one of the citations, you have the Oldham County zoning ordinance 280-100 for residential property. And it states, no person shall keep any auto, truck, trailer, or boat unlicensed for the current year in any residentially zoned area unless the auto, truck, or trailer or boat is garaged or the owner obtains an annual permit from the Oldham County Zoning Administration for a fee of $25. The administrator shall grant the permit using the following guidelines: antique vehicles actively undergoing restoration, and the item is concealed from view from neighboring properties and from the road. So if there was one trailer and neighbors weren't complaining about it, it wouldn't fall under the nuisance. But when you have 6 and 7 trailers out there at a time and the neighbors are complaining about it because they're parked throughout the yard, all down in front of the road, that's what created this case, was the neighbors complaining about looking at the constant,
Adam,
property.
have you showed us pictures of these are from September. It's now November 1st.
Correct.
Do you have more recent pictures?
I don't on this slide, so I have been going out there weekly.
Do you have pictures on your cell phone? More recent pictures?
No, I
So the pictures that Ms. Elkins showed, would you agree or disagree that that's the current condition today?
I haven't been out there today.
When was the last
let
time
me-
you, when was the last time
Let
you
me
were
pull up
out
my
there?
phone.
'Cause
I do.
I'm going to put this in the form of a question best I can. You know, you said, and they contested that you told somebody that, or they stated that they were cleaning up the property.
I was
But
out
I'm
there.
hearing that, hang on, am I correct in hearing that you're saying, but it got worse? So let's figure that one out, and if we can do it by pictures. I mean, they showed pictures as of today, yesterday maybe, today. These
So-
are pictures from September 20th.
Correct. The reason why I'm showing these pictures is to show why that citation was issued.
Yeah, that's.
I do have some pictures on my
That's the
phone
old citation, right?
that I took, and I'm going to try to download them here. Okay, so these pictures were taken October the 25th. So that was the last time that I was out there. It was October the 25th.
Which pictures? You said these pictures.
I've got them on my phone.
Okay, so you want to show them? So October 25th was last week, yeah, six days ago. And
He was there yesterday.
yesterday. You said you took pictures yesterday. You said it here a minute ago.
I did drive through the Lake Louisville area yesterday. I did not stop by their house and take any pictures.
Okay.
I drove straight past.
Been harassing ever since.
I was out there for some other cases that you're going to see an update on later on today. And I do have some pictures that I took yesterday for an update on one of the other properties that we have a case on.
so is it possible that the conditions have improved since the last time based on the evidence or the pictures that Ms. Elkins showed?
It's possible. I mean, I haven't paid attention to their property since October the 25th.
Okay.
I have a quick question. How does the property compare to the rest of Lake Louvelia?
I have several properties throughout Lake Louisville that I'm working on. I'm probably got 11 to 13 cases in the Lake Louisville area. You all have seen several of them. As I'm going to show you today, a lot of the properties are starting to get cleaned up. Quite a few of them are. I have started, Lake Louisville is an area that I'm going through to try to get cleaned up. I've been working with some of the worst properties first. If property owners are continuing to make improvements on their property, I give them more time. This was a case of, like I said, this case started over a year ago, is the first time I spoke to Mr. Elkins. And I talked to him that, to start making progress, that eventually I was going to start a case, that I was working through the Lake Louisville area. Then I started receiving complaints on the property. When people realized I was getting other properties cleaned up, I got complaints on his property, which is what started the case probably February or March. No, it would have been about a year ago, is when I first sent him his courtesy letter, and it's gone from there. Mm-hmm. And then you all saw the case in June where I had issued the first citation to him. He came in, you all issued the final order, which you all have. After that, after the 90 days I went out there, there was some improvement made for the first 2, maybe 3 visits, and then there was no improvement after that. And since then, not only has there been no improvement, when I was out there this past week is when I noticed one of the vehicles back, and it's not getting anywhere. Over the last couple of visits, I haven't seen any improvement. Now, if they've improved it this week, I don't know. I haven't been out there, but throughout these whole citations, every citation that you saw today, I think there's evidence that his improvement was made from picture to picture. You don't see any action. You see a lot of stuff being moved around, and
Another question, if this was zoned commercial or business, would this be the same issue? Would we be seeing the same issue if it was a commercial property?
Well, it's not zone commercial, so I'm not sure the relevance, because you can't do a change in zoning on this.
Well, I mean, you've said you were living there for 20-something years. Do you is there business that you'd conduct out of there? Oh, all right.
And he just told Max, he took pictures yesterday at the end of my yard, stopped in my yard yesterday. I got proof on that.
so
Been at my house, it was a lie.
So I want to show you all this picture right here and kind of give you all an idea of where I take my pictures from. So when I talk about the left side of the garage, this is the grass area right here where there used to be a lot of vehicles. There's very little parking here. None of the pictures I have taken really have anything to do with what's going up their driveway to their house. So this whole area up here is usually full of vehicles, and I don't know what's back in here. Majority of pictures I usually take a picture from this location right here, looking up to the side of that garage. That's the left-hand side where, if you all have looked, showing a big piece of metal, and so that would be these two pictures, the picture right here on the right. That's looking up at the side of the garage right there.
Mr. Elkins, please. Mr. Elkins, I'm asking you to please be quiet. Thank you very much.
Then if you look right here, this is a fencing right across here, and then right here is where they have like a big double gate that you can see up into the garage, and then here's the fencing. So normally I'll stop right here and take a picture up through here, and that's where you can see the carport, where you can see inside of the carport. There's a red truck parked right here, and I'm going to show you one of those pictures. So the picture right here on the right would be me looking up through that double gate, taking the picture from the roadway. And you can see all the junk and debris that's through there.
That's not there.
Then I usually take a picture from this location. This is where I do look over the fencing from the roadway. As I get out of the door of my truck, I stand up, I take a picture, and you can see back into here where all the vegetation, several vehicles back here, and that would be the picture right here would be this picture right here. So this would be a picture looking over that fencing area. And then this picture right here, if you can see where the arrow is, I take this picture from this location right about here. I look down that way to show what's out in front of the fencing area. Do y'all have any other questions? But all my pictures are date stamped, and I apologize, I haven't been out there this week. But if you want to see the pictures of what I took on October the 25th, I do have some of them on my phone. And the property hadn't changed much on October the 25th from any of the pictures that I showed you today.
Okay? We're going to let you sit down for just a moment, and we may call you back up. Mr. and Mrs. Elkins, would either one of you like to speak at this time?
Okay. The picture he was just showing you, right here, oh, that's not on.
Can you turn that back
It
on?
switches over.
Oh, it will.
The picture right there that he was showing you when he was talking about all the debris overgrown, as you can,
Talk into the
oh,
microphone, please.
as you can tell, I've called him. I've been looking out my kitchen window at him. He stands up on his truck and gets an overview of that fence right there, that where all the debris has grown. You cannot see it unless you're standing up high. And another thing is, I'm not condemning what I'm doing. Like I said, those first pictures September you seen, my yard was trash. I was embarrassed. I've been on him for months. But he says that's overgrown. You ever been in Lake La Villa? It's all woods. The whole Lake La Villa is overgrown. That's all, everybody. I mean, I've had people come to my house tell me my house is the best looking house in the whole lake, that it's trash, pure trash. And my house is the first house when you come in on the road. When the realtor brought me there to that house, that was the only thing I seen. And when I moved in and seen what I seen in there, trust me, I wish I never moved there. But a lot of that he showed is gone. And that truck he keeps pointing out behind the fence, yeah. When he comes up in my yard, like I've caught him doing quite a few times, taking pictures when now we have no trespassing signs because he's been in my yard and my neighbor has seen him taking the pictures up in there of the old truck. Yeah, and it's tagged. Call down the Oldham County Clerk. It's taxes are paid, but it don't have tags and insurance. It's an old truck, and it's for my grandson. He's 15 years old. When he turns 18, it's a project for him. And whatever is not done now, there's still some more that needs to be done. But not a lot, but it's going to be done before cold weather and snow hits. And those trailers and the backhoes that are in there that he showed, the white one, my husband borrowed that from his boss to level all that gravel out that he was showing you. So that's all I got to say.
Thank you, Ms. Elkins.
Thank you very
Please have a
much.
seat.
Can I say something else?
If you would like, sir.
He just told another lie.
Okay.
He was in front of my house yesterday taking pictures yesterday.
Mr.
My son's
Elkins.
a witness to it. He
Please.
was there yesterday.
Mr. Elkins.
Well, he's not going to sit there and lie on me.
Well-
He was in front of my house yesterday taking pictures.
Let us talk through some
Yeah.
things, okay?
right.
We'd like you to just be calm.
Yeah, I'm just
Let's
aggravated
figure
with
some of
lying on
these
me.
things out.
And he did tell my neighbor my house looks a whole lot better.
Thank
So,
you.
okay.
Okay. Can we have some board discussion? Give us some ideas, because I have an idea.
Let me just make a few comments. There are 4 separate citations in front of the board. The citations, the language of the citations was somewhat non-standard in that it doesn't, instead of giving the property owner a certain amount of time to respond, the citations instead advise the property owner to come to today's hearing, which the property owner has done. Each of the 4 citations contains 3 separate violations, alleged violations, on 4 different days. So if the board wants to move forward to make a decision on those 4 citations, I would emphasize that for citation 716, the board should focus on the condition of the property on September the 11th of this year. For citation 720, the board should consider the condition of the property on September the 18th. For citation 723, the board should consider the condition of the property on September 25th. And for citation 724, the board should consider the condition of the property on October 2nd. The board can, at its discretion, consider pictures that were taken on other dates, but for the sake of deciding whether the citation is valid, the board should focus on the date of the notice. That doesn't mean that the board has to move forward today. I think the board could entertain a motion to continue all 4 citations for additional review for compliance. I believe there are additional unpaid citations out there already that have been finalized. So the availability of lien and foreclosure, I think, is already there for this property. So I don't think the board is under any kind of time constraint today to make any decisions if the board believes that Mr. and Mrs. Elkins are moving in the right direction.
Can I just add to that? I think what strikes me is let's pause the citations, let's pause discussion and deliberation. Ms. Elkins, if you could tell us a timeline for what's left to be removed, if you can do that today, and then maybe you can make a decision on that in terms of what you're hearing is left to be removed. She said she'd have it done before cold weather, and just, again,
Could we take it a little, could we,
just hang on a second.
just a moment, could we take it a little bit further and actually identify some specific things?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
That
to be
she
done.
would do that.
Okay,
And
to be
and then
done.
we know,
Fine.
okay, here's what your promise is, but at the best of your understanding of what you can do and get done. And then put it in a framework of, if you can do it in the next 30 days, then we kind of pause all the citations, no more citations, no more pursuing remedies. That's still, like Mr. Hudson said, it's still an option,
Right.
including going all the way to liens, but at least we put a pause on things.
What I'm saying, Jim, is there are some specific things
Yep.
that the county is saying needs to be cleaned up, and there are some things that the Elkins think are not necessarily needing to be cleaned up. So I think we need to come together with
Yes.
those things, and then give them the opportunity to do that.
Right. That's what I'm suggesting. Right.
okay.
Yep.
Okay?
Make sense? Well, it's up to the Madam Chairwoman.
If you say something, then they get to say something.
Well, and again, think about what those conditions are, because we'll need to get from the Elkins on what they intend to do in the next,
And I need to know what I need to do.
true.
Can I make just a general statement? One of the things that I'm struggling with is, under the nuisance, it talks about significant diminution of the property values around, if it's dangerous, things like that. If we're focusing on an area that has a bit of a reputation, I haven't been here my whole life, and I heard about it within 2 weeks of being here. It makes me wonder, if we're focusing on an area and we're running through it, are we beneficial by going one by one, or because it seems to me like if the statement can be made, well, everyone else is that way, then is it truly a nuisance if everyone's messy? Does that make sense?
Can I answer that?
Let me answer.
So you have had other cases in Lake Louisville come here. So it isn't that we're focusing on one parcel or even just a small area. Adam has been through almost the entirety of Lake Louisville. Not every property yet, because that's a lot, but he has had illegal dumps cleaned up, properties cleaned up. You've seen one where they've come back a couple of times because I'll use the dilapidated shed, if you remember that case. So we have had other cases in there. So it is an effort of the code enforcement officer under my direction to go out in areas of the county, not just Lake Louisville, and clean up by area. We've done that. So it really isn't a matter of, everybody's benefiting by everybody cleaning up their property, not only one person cleaning up their property,
Thank you.
including the Elkins.
So I would like to say, and I apologize, Matt, but so currently we do not have any outstanding fines due other than these citations that are on the table. Tony did come in a couple months ago, back in July, and paid the one citation that he did have outstanding in the amount of $150. The reason why that wasn't brought up today is that was brought up previously, and I think our September code board hearing showing that that fine was paid.
Thank
So
you.
currently, he doesn't have any fines outstanding, other than these current citations.
So can I,
Go right ahead.
so while you're up there, can you either now or sit down and think about it, make from, I guess, from memory, so we can come to some agreement on what needs to be cleaned up? Because Ms. Elkins said, what do you want us to clean up? And if there's an old picture that, and not to start a debate, but if there's stuff around, say, the garage that still exists, that would be an idea of one thing.
To be
Or-
honest with you, that would be really hard to do right now because a lot of the stuff that's there gets moved around quite a bit. I would be willing to meet Tony or Pamela on the property to walk the property and look at, what needs to be done, and we will write a list down of everything that needs to be done on the property to bring it into compliance. And then I could bring that back to the board at the next hearing, and if we
Well,
can.
the idea is to move it forward today, not waiting at 30 more days. They're willing to continue cleaning stuff up, so the idea is to get something done.
From the last visit that I was there was a substantial amount that needed to be done. It wasn't, now what they've done over the past week, I can't comment on. But from the last time that I was there on October the 25th, there was a substantial amount that needed to be done, to the point that on that visit, my recommendation to the code board would have been to move forward with a criminal complaint. So there was a substantial amount that needed to be done. So for me to sit here and say what needs to be done would be very difficult.
And I'm going to ask you to go ahead and be difficult for just a few minutes. There has to be an opportunity, as we've looked at those pictures. I think the garage was a great example. The fence and all that grassy stuff is another thing. Are there 2 or 3 things that we can come away with today?
Yeah,
that
I
can
could
get
definitely
done
name a few
and
things
can be held
today.
accountable, that both Oldham County and the homeowner are in agreement, and we get this done, so that we can move those 2 or 3 things forward, and then tackle the other things as well. Because right now, we're going in 2 different directions. We need to get it together. Is that a possibility?
Yeah, I could come up with a few things that needs to be done today.
Okay, can you give me 3?
So my first thing, and one of the first things you look at when you come to the Lake Louisville, if you look at the right side, this right picture right here, if they could clean all the debris up that, and I know he said, and let me see if I can find the picture. So you've got a bunch of metal right here that he's talking about wanting to add on to his garage. It's been laying there for 6 to 8 months. It's been there a long time. If he could get this whole area cleaned up, so basically from the left side of the garage all the way to the house, and the majority of that area is clean, it's in the grass. But if he could get this whole area cleaned up right here, the tires, the debris that's right here in front of the fence, if he could get this area cleaned up, and then this area out in front of the fence, all across here. So you've got a trailer here with a bunch of junk on it. You've got several trailers parked out here along with vehicles. And then you've got piles of stone that she talked about being graded. If they could get this cleaned up with any junk and debris along this parking area, and spread the gravel out that is piled up there, the crushed stone, I think that would make a pretty good improvement. And then
Okay, that's 3.
that would be 2.
Okay, well, I took all debris cleaned up by the garage,
The left side of the garage,
the left side of the garage. Clean up the area in front of the fence.
in front of the fence, that whole area in front of the
Okay,
fence.
that's 2.
And then the third area would be, I would say, in front of their garage. Actually, I think this time of year would be best to cut all the vegetation that is grown up inside that fence area. It's 9 to 10 foot tall. And to get all that cut back so that, you know, to get it cut back, to get all the vegetation in that area cut back. I think that would be the best, this would be a good time of the year to get that done before we get into something else. So if we could start off with those 3 things, and then if they would be willing to meet me once those 3 things are done, to come to the code board next month with this is what else needs to be done. But I really need to meet them on the property and go through and say, this area, you know, we've got to do something with this. We've got to do something with that.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you very much. Ms. Elkins, would you like to come back up front?
I just want to see, going back to that other picture that he keeps pointing to.
Well, we're gonna give you the same picture.
There's not, all that's gone. What he keeps talking about, that's my air conditioning unit to the garage and some bags of salt for the winter.
Well,
And the carport.
okay,
But there's nothing there.
okay. What we will do is give you that picture, which shows things there.
Yes.
And and what he's asking, if you can, that all the debris would be cleaned up by the left side of the garage,
Right.
that the area in front of the fence and the gravel be leveled and cleaned up. And then the third thing was that the vegetation
Yeah, none of that's
behind the
there.
fence, if all of that happens, then we're one step closer to getting this thing resolved. Are you
I hope
saying,
so, because I work. I don't.
are you saying that you and Mr. Elkins are going to make a plan to get these things together?
He might, I'm not, it's not my junk. I mean, what, that's gone, there's nothing there. And what
That's
is
what we
there
find
now
out.
is we drive every day and no, it's not gonna move, never.
If we find out that
And-
all these 3 things are done, all the
But
better.
what he said, the weeds and whatever, I mean, that's fine. We can burn it down, don't matter. My neighbors like it there, it blocks their house, they like privacy. But yeah, it's fine.
Okay, we have 3 items. I'm going to ask you.
I just don't wanna be after these 3 items, be aggravated daily.
Well, Ms. Elkins, we are working to help you get this
I
resolved.
hope so, because I might be dead and gone for it.
Well, but we're asking you to
Maybe,
help
hopefully.
us as well. So I'm going to let you
We're
sit
all
back
gonna be dead and
down.
gone.
We're going to come up with a plan, and if we all work together, we can get this resolved.
I hope so.
Because there's no reason for us to keep finding you and let you get this thing cleaned up, and then we won't be
Yeah,
bothering you.
because I mean, every day it's something different with him. I mean, I don't know
Well,
what he wants me to do.
Well, we're going to give you those things.
So
and we're going to
that
ask.
will be grateful.
Then you do those things. We'll
That
take
will-
another step after that.
That will be
Okay,
grateful.
would you please sit down then? Thank you very
you.
much. Okay. Can someone help me make a motion?
All right.
Okay, one more question.
So with the agreement that we're making today, I want to remind you all that I have three outstanding citations that you have not heard that were issued since 7/24. So I think there's a citation 7/25, 7/26, and 7/27, or 7/25, 26.
And Adam, I'm going to stop. We agreed, I think there, I've
I wanna make sure they
suggested that
understand
they
it.
be put on pause,
Yeah, so those 3 citations that they've already gotten
just pause.
will be dismissed.
No more, no, not
No,
dismissed.
not dismissed.
Pause.
Just
Paused. Okay.
Pause.
No more weekly citations.
No more weekly
Okay.
citations. Give them time to clean stuff up. Pause everything, get it cleaned up, and then come back in 30 days and see where we are.
Hopefully,
Okay.
we're going to put all of that in the motion, so you'll know.
I'll make a run at it. I'd like to make a motion that we suspend the rotating citations in lieu of the Elkins completing the 3 detailed instructions we just gave. Number 1, getting the metal off the ground that's to the left side of the garage, and the tires and any other debris off the ground that is on the left side of the garage. Second, move the trailers and spread the gravel and stone in front of the fence. And third, cut back the vegetation that's sticking up over the fence.
We have a motion on the floor.
And I second that.
We have a second. Okay, we're going to call for a vote. Mike? All in favor, say aye.
All in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Got it. Okay, motion carried. It was. Mr. and Mrs.
right.
Elkins, thank you very much. Adam will get back with you, and we'll get all these things lined up, and we'll probably be looking at talking with you again next month.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying, so what's that, like in a month?
Month. Are we going to meet again next month?
Yes.
Okay, then that's your timeline.
All right, so I'll have to be
Got some work to do.
activated for now till a month, right?
Today, you've got to get started.
Get the work done.
Get
right.
to,
work
get the
done.
work done, and you won't, yeah.
December 6th will be the next meeting. December 6th.
December 6th,
Yes, ma'am.
late in the day, so I'll work.
Yes, it's late in the day. It's 4 o'clock. Thank you.
The next case is citation number 717, 3505 Hawthorne Court in LaGrange. The owner on record is Martha T. and David W. Kent. This hearing was not requested. This is the general location of the property. It is in Briar Ridge subdivision off of Highway 393. This is a violation of the Oldham County nuisance ordinance. You all have seen this case before. These are some pictures from the citation 698 that you all saw, I believe, back in June, at the June hearing, showing the condition of the property. A couple more pictures of the property at that time. You all did issue a final order on June the 7th, and you all updated it at a later hearing. He did come in and pay the fine on September the 6th. He did have a dumpster delivered on the property. Most of the trash and debris was removed from the property. There is 3 vehicles remain on the property. According to the owner, 2 of them were licensed and registered and run. The other one is an antique that he needed to decide what he was going to do with it. The front of the house has been cleared of vegetation, but the side yard remains in violation due to the overgrowth of vegetation. At the Code Board hearing on June the 7th and updated on September the 6th, you all voted to issue a monthly citation if the property was not in compliance. Because we came in for a update and you all voted to issue a citation and a monthly citation until the property was in compliance. After that hearing, I did go out and take pictures of the property on October the 9th. This is the picture of the front of the house. The picture on the left is the left side of the house. You can see the 2 vehicles down there, and there's also a antique vehicle down there. This is the picture of the right showing the vegetation up against the property line that needs to be cut back and maintained. On September the 12th, I did issue the citation based off the final order that you all had decided on September the 6th. Citation number 717 was issued and delivered to the owner at his house. Here's the citation continued. This is the current condition of the property. These pictures were taken October the 30th, so 2 days ago. This is the front view of the property. It really looks pretty good. The picture on the left, you can see the 3 vehicles that I was talking about. The 2 of them that you can see the best, those are the ones he said are licensed and run. The one that's got the junk around it, that one is the one that's an antique and he's deciding what to do. I do believe he still has some junk and debris to remove from that little area. If he's going to have that antique vehicle there, he doesn't need the junk laying all up on it and around it. And then as you can see, there's a tire and a few other things laying around those other vehicles. This is a picture of the vegetation on the right side of the property, mostly the bamboo that's growing up against the neighbor's property. So the property is still in violation as of today. I will be issuing another citation this week, which would be a citation every month until it's in compliance. So we are talking about the citation that was issued on September the 12th for it being in violation on September the 9th.
Does he understand when we give him a citation that it's specifically to the bamboo that's growing? I mean, is that,
I have explained that to him.
Yeah.
I've met him on the property and told him he's got to get that bamboo cut back. I've
no,
been
the
very
bamboo,
specific.
it's tough when it gets like that. It's hard to get rid of.
I've been very specific to say he needed to cut an 8-foot path down the property line on the fence, and he was good. And
Right.
he has gone over there, I don't know how often, but I can see a little bit being cut back periodically when I go over there, but not nearly enough.
Are you getting complaints from the neighbor that's on that side? Is that,
I have gotten complaints from the neighbor on that side. The neighbors across the street, they've been pretty happy with the progress that's taken
okay,
place.
good.
But the neighbor on that side, and that is one of their issues, is still the bamboo. And if you know bamboo,
It's
if he
gonna-
doesn't get it cut back, it's coming right back.
It's coming,
I think the neighbors
well, and
know
it's
that.
coming to their property too.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's on their
It already
property.
is on their property. It's right up against it's actually grown into the neighbor's air conditioner and stuff like that.
Okay.
So right now, we're talking about citation 717 with a $250 fine. That fine hasn't been paid. He did pay the original $150 fine, but this citation was issued on September the 12th based off what you all said at the last code board hearing.
This is a monthly citation.
It's a monthly citation. So he should have actually got a citation around October the 15th. I'll be honest, I am behind catching up with some of these citations. Same way with Elkins, I fell behind on some
So
citations.
he's got the citation through certified mail? Is that how that works?
This one I actually took to the door.
Yeah.
I actually spoke to him on the phone, told him I was bringing it over. He said, tape it to my door. So I
Okay.
took it to
So
his
he's
house.
got it, he knows it.
He does have it, and he did get it.
I hate to ask this again. Does he understand that what needs to be done? It just feels like he doesn't, because he cleaned up his yard, he did all this work, but didn't do the one part that,
I'm sure he understands. I have met him on the property numerous times, and
yeah, okay.
And he's also been here.
Yeah,
a
I've
couple
seen him here
times
twice,
and-
yeah.
And made promises.
Yeah,
And
okay.
we're still dealing with it.
Yeah.
so right now we're just talking about citation 717 to show that he did deserve it,
Okay.
and it's.
I have a feeling we're going to see him again.
I'm hoping he gets a cut back.
Right.
He's got about 8 foot by
Yeah.
25 foot to cut back. It's about 25-foot distance down that fence line that needs to be cut back. As far as what's up against his house, his plan is to eventually cut it back. But once he gets that 8-foot path, at least it's not infringing on the neighbor until next year when the bamboo moves again, if he doesn't clear it all out.
Okay.
But the thing was for him to get that 8-foot cut back and then maintain that 8-foot path so that it doesn't infringe on the neighbor.
I guess the question is, what action does the code board need to take? There's an unpaid citation. The mitigation isn't done. There's a citation that hasn't yet been written that Adam has been really working hard on a lot, but hasn't done. So the question is, what do you all want to do?
When's the citation due? The $250 due?
So I put a due date on it of, oh, I did not put a due date on this one. I
think
apologize.
11/1
It's usually
is-
30 days.
30 days?
So it would have been due by October the 12th.
Oh, so he's already,
But I did not put a due date on this one.
And again, you're at a monthly citation, and you can choose to do more.
so right now, November 12th, he's going to get another one, right?
Actually, he should have received one around October the 12th, and that's.
Yeah, you still need to do
I thought when I
that.
wrote the September the 12th one, I was thinking October the 12th, so I thought I was on schedule to write one November. But upon this week, when I was doing the presentations, I realized I was a whole month behind on his citation.
So there's one that was due in October,
Mm-hmm.
there's one that's coming up in November.
Due by
so-
9/19. So it does say it's due by 9/19.
No, that's-
Citation 717.
No, I don't believe so.
Yeah, hang on, just wait. It sort of doesn't matter when it's due, it's not been paid.
Right.
What's you got to deal with is, there was one that was to be written in October, and there's one that's to be written coming up in November. What's your instruction to code enforcement?
As a board, we have to decide, is he going to get another 250 for October and then another 250 for November?
Well, it'd
It would be 400 from that point
400.
on.
The
So
third and all subsequent ones are 400.
My opinion is I'm tired of seeing him in here, and I'm tired of him ignoring the instructions we've given him. I would rather see us go as hard on him as we can. I'd rather see we find him the 400 on October and give him another one in November. And I'm sure he'll come in here and plead to us again.
I think the October one would be 250.
the October one would be 400,
It would be
Yeah.
400. Yeah.
And then the one after that,
would be 400.
right. I would
And do you
I would
want-
like to see us uphold both of those, just because he continues to come in here.
Do you want to see them be weekly instead of monthly? Or?
No,
No,
Okay.
I think
So-
monthly is good, but
yeah,
I could actually, so I've got the pictures from October the 30th, which I was going to write him a citation tomorrow for the month of October, and then come November the 12th, I could write him another citation for not being in compliance. So he got one in September for not being in compliance on that one. Then he would get one in October for not being in compliance in October. And then come November the 12th, he would get one for the month of November,
Right.
and then so forth in December.
And can you reach out to him again and just say, if you don't get this done by November 12th, you're getting another one?
I could definitely,
Yeah.
I could reach out to him probably tomorrow or Monday.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea. We need to stay in communication with him, but we also need to just keep doing what we're supposed to be doing, is getting these citations to him. If he doesn't do them, we're going to make a decision. Because we don't want to round up a whole bunch of citations.
So are we going to uphold citation 717, I guess is my question.
Yeah, do we need a
Need to make
motion?
a motion?
Okay. I make a motion that we uphold citation 717.
I second.
Okay, we have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
And then I think make sure and reaffirm that your original instruction was a monthly citation, and October, November should be issued.
I'd like to amend that motion to,
Well, you can make a second motion.
Second one,
we can make a second motion.
okay? That October and November?
I make a motion that we uphold the rotating funds for October and November.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
So on our agenda, citation number 718 was the next one for Prestige Builders. Per the request of the Oldham County Engineering Department, we are going to table that citation.
You do need a motion to table
Oh,
it
we have a
if you're in agreement.
Okay.
I move to table.
We have
Second.
a Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, motion carried.
The next case is citation number 721. This is 3109 Salt Lick Road Daniel Greason Bramlett is the owner of the property on record. This hearing was not requested. This is the general location of the property. This is a violation of the Oldham County Construction Site Runoff, the Oldham County Construction Site Runoff Section 7 ordinance. This is a copy of the notice of violation and referral for citation from the Oldham County Engineering Office. These are a few of the pictures showing that there was no silt fence in place at the site. This is a copy of the citation number 721 that was issued on September the 22nd. On September the 20th, I received a referral for citation from the Oldham County Engineering Department. It was issued on September the 22nd. As of yesterday, Oldham County Engineering went out there and the property currently is in compliance. I don't have a copy of that compliance letter because they went out yesterday. The citation was paid on October the 27th, so I would recommend that this case be closed.
A motion that the case be closed. Do I have a second?
So moved. Oh,
Second.
there you go.
All in favor, say aye.
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 So the next case is citation number 722. This is 1104 Joyce Court in Crestwood, Kentucky. The owner on record is DeMarcus J. Mason. This hearing was not requested. This is the general location of the property. It is in, I believe, Lakewood subdivision off of Moody Lane. This is a violation of the Oldham County Nuisance Ordinance, Section 1 and Section 3. The picture on the left right here was taken on June the 14th. You can see there was overgrown vegetation, and the picture on the right, you can see a lot of junk and debris up against the side of the house, and then there's a black vehicle back there that doesn't run. It had a flat tire. I did issue a courtesy letter on June the 16th explaining to the owner of the situation. I believe I spoke to him either after the courtesy letter or the notice of violation and talked to him about what needed to be done. On July the 10th, the yard had been mowed, but there still needed to be a lot of trimming done. As you can see the picture on the left, the property was really overgrown. The picture on the right, the neighbor did give me permission to come into their yard to take a picture. You can see the vehicle, it's got flat tires. The junk and debris along the side of the house had been picked up, but once again, there was a lot of junk and debris up against the fence and the overgrown vegetation along the neighboring property line. This is a picture taken from the front of the property. The overgrown vegetation, the grass wasn't too tall, but it was the trimming through a ditch through the front yard and just around the fencing and certain areas, they needed to do some trimming. This is some more pictures taken on the 20th. The picture on the left, you can see the junk and debris up against the fence by the vehicle and how tall the vegetation is. And the picture on the right shows all the vegetation growing up against the neighbor's fence. On July the 21st, I did issue a notice of violation to the property owner. So in the notice of violation, I guess I did speak to him on July the 5th. That I spoke to him on June the 14th, and he agreed to have it done by July the 5th, but when I drove by on the 20th, it still hadn't been done. So the notice of violation was issued. I made several attempts between July the 21st and September the 21st to go to the owner's property. I made several attempts to knock on the door with no response to talk to him about bringing the property into compliance. On September the 21st, I stopped by and took some pictures, and you can see the vehicle was still there with the flat tire. You can see the vegetation still needs to be cut back along the fence line. took some more pictures showing the vegetation through the drainage ditch that I talked about, just some trimming that needed to be done, and along the fence line and around the trees. I did issue citation number 722 on September the 26th. I hand delivered it to the owner, took it to the house, and I did mail a copy. Here's a copy of the citation. I did go out there 2 days ago. The vegetation, as you can see, along the fence still needs to be cut back. It appears like he might go out and do a little bit, but he's just not getting the vegetation cut back along the fence, the neighboring fence line. And then the picture on the right, once again, shows the vegetation up against the fence and the vehicle with the flat tire. Nothing's been done with it. That's where we're at on it.
Is the vehicle tagged and up to date?
The vehicle does have a license plate, but it is expired.
Okay.
It had expired registration. And it does have a flat tire. And as you can see by the pictures, the vehicle hadn't moved in 4 months. If I can remember correctly, there was quite a bit of stuff in the vehicle, and the owner even told me that he was needing to talk to his wife to get rid of the vehicle, but nothing was ever done with it.
Okay. Before we move forward, do we have any comments or questions for Adam? Any further? As board members, do we have anything we wish to discuss about this?
I mean, he's had 4 months, June, July, August, September, October to move that car. Is that, I mean, the car and the vegetation? This has gone on since mid-June?
So since June the 16th,
Yeah.
well, I guess since June the 14th when I
He's
first,
been issued a citation.
he received a courtesy letter, a notice of violation, and then the citation. He wasn't doing nothing with the vehicle, and he just wouldn't. He did go out there after the courtesy letter the one time that I did talk to him out in June, and he did a little bit out back, and then
Yeah.
I just kept, he just didn't get it done.
So based on the citation, it's not been mitigated.
It still hasn't been mitigated, and it hasn't been mitigated since I issued the citation as of 2 days ago.
So do we issue another citation? Is that our next move? Or do we
You can.
initiate rolling citations?
You can.
Is the owner aware about paying the $25, covering the vehicle and going that route?
So the $25, and maybe Jim can answer this, I think that is only for antique vehicles
It is.
and they have to be stored out of sight and,
Right.
So it's
only
not-
for- It's really only, again, like Adam said, only for antique vehicles. It's not a remedy for an inoperable vehicle.
Okay.
That's a modern vehicle.
The citation is it rolling monthly?
I can issue daily citations. If the property, every day that I drive out there, if it's in violation, I can issue a citation. Normally I don't. This is a case of other property. I went out there and did, again, I hit that area of the subdivision. Numerous homeowners cleaned up after a courtesy letter or me stopping in and talking to them. I continued to get additional complaints on this property. And I got a complaint a couple weeks ago, and it wasn't, a couple weeks before I wrote the citation.
I would just recommend that we give him another citation that's higher than this one and make sure he knows he's going to get one each month until it's completed. That would be what I think we should do, and I can make it in the form of
Consistent
a...
with the last case you heard where you know, and if they don't get that, then you can change the frequency or
Right, right. We can change the frequency if
Do something
necessary,
different.
yeah.
Okay, so we need to go through the whole format, not just make a motion, right? We need to go, can you start with page 2 of 5?
Make a motion that the citation was properly issued on September 22nd, 2023 to the owner of the property.
Second?
I haven't made the motion yet, hang on. Okay, we have a motion on the floor that matters, that the respondent, it's a nuisance. Okay, we have a motion on the floor, do I have a second? You said a second?
well, it was he motioned. There was the second.
Second, okay.
You're just voting.
Okay, all in favor say aye,
Aye.
opposed nay.
I move that the property was in violation of the nuisance ordinance and was committed because the violation was observed by the officer, and the property owner allowed partially dismantled, wrecked, junked, or discarded or non-operational vehicles on the premises.
We have a motion for a nuisance ordinance violation. Motion, do I have a second?
Second?
Okay, all in favor say aye,
Aye.
Aye.
opposed nay. Penalty?
Is determination of penalty is our next?
Yeah.
So I make a motion that we initiate a rotating fine of $250 monthly until
Well,
it's,
Our schedule is the second citation is 250, the third and others
Oh.
are going to be 400. So your motion would just really be about a cycle of issuing citations.
okay. Then I make a motion that we maintain our cycle of citations,
Monthly citations.
monthly citations.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a second, we're going to go for a vote, all in favor say aye,
Aye.
opposed nay.
And I probably should have said this, but included in that motion is until the property's brought into compliance.
Into
I think
compliance,
that's inferred,
right,
but maybe we can make sure that's in the record.
Can you modify, who did that?
Amend the motion to show that
The cycle of monthly citations
until it's brought into compliance.
until brought into compliance, okay? Now I'm going to go for a second again.
Second.
Okay, we have a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Okay.
So next up, we have old business. The first one is 1812 Zachary Drive. You all voted to close this case if you all voted to close the case, and if fine not paid by September the 30th, then a lien would be placed on the property. This fine was paid on September the 11th in the amount of $250. So that one can be closed out completely. The next one is 1407 Grandview Court. The board voted to impose the fine in the amount of $150 due within 30 days. That fine has not been paid. The fine of $250 was to be held in abeyance subject to the respondent complying with the final order. The final order was to reduce the number of ducks to within 4 within 30 days of September the 6th. I spoke to the respondent several weeks ago, and she did inform me that she only had 4 ducks. That would have been about 3 or 4 weeks ago before the 30 days was up. She did tell me she was down to 4. I did receive a phone call this week when they heard that this was going to be reviewed in front of the code board that stated that there was more than 4 ducks on the property. I have not had the opportunity to investigate it fully. Again, like in the past, it's hard for me to see exactly how many are there. The phone call that I received said that there was only 4 ducks walking in the yard, but that there were other ducks pinned up. And I
Didn't we
guess
tell
for
her
me to
3?
do what?
Didn't we tell her to get it down to 3?
It was 4.
It was 4? Okay.
Yeah. So Matt, wait. I mean, right now, from everything I can see from the road, it's in compliance. I haven't seen more than 4. She's told me to 4. A neighbor has told me that there's more than 4 in a pen somewhere inside on the property.
She was fined and hasn't paid the fine?
She has not paid the $150 fine. Jim, I don't know if I can say about she was going to, what she talked to us about.
Did you inform Matt what that is?
If she hasn't filed anything, I don't think it needs to be mentioned.
Okay.
May I ask what happens when they don't pay the fine?
Well, theoretically, then we would put a lien against the property and file notice of that with the county clerk, and then I guess at fiscal court's discretion, we could file a foreclosure suit. That's really the nuclear option that's always available in these cases when the property owners don't pay their fines. I think it's sort of understood that it's only done in cases where there's no mitigation, fine hasn't been paid, condition continues, then we find somebody else to own the property. I think that's the ultimate goal in those kind of cases.
But Matt, can I just, filing the lien is a separate action from filing foreclosure on the lien. So
Yes.
we could file a lien and then it's there without further action because
Absolutely.
the unpaid fine is almost kind of a separate issue. How we collect it is either by filing foreclosure or wait until the property gets sold and then we get collected then, and that could be never.
Right.
So that remedy that Matt's talking about is if it's egregious enough and we need to enforce that, then, and we've only really done that 3 times. And I'll say 3 times since I've been here in 2011. So it's not an action that we file a lot of liens. We don't foreclose on the liens very often.
Well, and I think we're still at the $150.
Well,
But what I'm going to suggest is that since Adam hasn't been out there and the neighbor called, we still can't verify that, how many ducks she has.
Yeah, I can't verify whether there's more than 4. I can continue to drive by there and look.
but here's the thing. If you look on this, what's on the screen,
Okay.
you already voted to impose a $150 fine due in 30 days. That's one thing. You held $250 in abeyance to make sure that there was compliance, and if there was compliance with the final order, then you're only collecting $150. You got to consider that. Then there's another complaint, a recent complaint that has not been investigated because it was just this week. So you got to deal with one thing first, and that is what do you do about the old decision that you've already made of $150 and $250 in abeyance?
I don't think that anything can be done with the $250 that's in abeyance unless a subsequent citation is filed. I don't think the board can make an informed decision based on something that's mentioned at the end of a docket under old business. I think for due process requirements, the property owner needs to get notified that she's been accused of being out of compliance again.
Okay, good. That's good clarification.
So file a lien on the property and issue another citation based off the complaint?
Well,
didn't
upon
think we
your
were filing a lien.
investigation. You can't just do it based on a complaint. You got to determine whether or not there's a violation.
So continue, okay.
So we're asking you to continue, right? Okay.
I think we know what we're going to see. I mean,
Well, that may be the case, but we still need to investigate.
I drive by it probably weekly.
haven't seen it?
It's not as easy to see as you
Okay.
think. It's pretty difficult. But I'll keep continuing to,
Are they like going in the front yard?
it's all in the backyard. It's fenced off
Fenced.
and it's got
Yeah, I remember the pictures.
shadowed, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I need to put something else out there just to make a good record for anybody who might be watching at home. The homeowners association might have more restrictive rules than what we can enforce under our county ordinances. If the property owner is violating an HOA rule, the HOA needs to do a private enforcement of those rules. We can't try to twist our ordinances to satisfy the HOA's desires. And if you're driving by and you're not noticing anything out of the ordinary, then I would hesitate to recommend that you issue another citation.
Unless I see more than 4.
Well, and the way the ordinance is written, it doesn't say how many. The ordinance, it's a nuisance, is what we've accused her of in the past. And it has to meet the qualifications of the nuisance ordinance to be citable.
Okay.
Are you able to contact an HOA?
Yeah, I can contact the HOA.
But that's,
I like that recommendation, Matt, that you know, that they use their power to try to rectify this situation. Them bringing this to us, I don't like. I think they have the power to. The HOA has the power to fix this.
they did have that power when they came to us.
They did. Last time they were here, they did.
They asked us to look at it. We've looked at it from a county perspective. And it's,
Okay.
do we need to make a motion? Or can we
Do
just
we need a motion, or are we just recommending that
Well,
you?
I guess
continue?
and I don't know, do we need a motion to file the lien on for the $150?
I don't think that requires any board action at all. I think that's administrative that the office can do if it's not paid.
Okay. So I guess that's the update on,
Or old business, and it's almost like it's just a report.
Okay. All right. The next one is 3102 Belknap Beach. The board voted to impose the fine due within 30 days. That fine was paid on September the 11th in the amount of $150. The final case is case number 22-0129. This was 7699 Catalpa Drive. You all did issue a final order on that one. I don't know if I gave you all a copy of that. The final order, you all voted that he had to have the truck and the trailer removed and the shed repaired and no more dumping on the property within 30 days or a new citation was to be issued. And you voted that he had to secure a dumpster and remove all the junk by May the 1st of 24. So he had until October the 6th to have the trailer removed, the truck, and the shed repaired. Or I think you all said, or the shed removed. So I did issue a citation to the property owner on October the 11th for failure to comply with that final order. That citation did not get on this docket. It would be on next month's docket. I did drive by there, and the owner did have a dumpster on site on October the 2nd. But this is the pictures taken September the 6th before we came to the co-board hearing. As you can see on the picture on the left, the trailer with the washing machine, and then you had the vehicle back there and some debris remained. September the 6th, the shed was still there. I would like to give an update, and I apologize. I didn't get the pictures on here. So I was out there yesterday taking pictures. I told you I was through the Lake Louisville area. The truck has been removed from the property. There was a dumpster on site on the 2nd. The dumpster was there to haul off all the material from the shed. So the shed has been removed completely. The truck has been removed from the property. And the trailer was not there. The dumpster, he took all the stuff from the shed, put it in the dumpster, and also some of the stuff from behind the fence. So the left side of the property, the shed was removed, the truck was removed, the trailer was removed, but it was done after the 30 days that you all gave him. So the citation was issued, but then when I went out there yesterday, it was cleaned up. So I guess is that a citation that you all will be seeing next month, but it was cleaned up after I issued the citation.
Okay.
And I apologize for not having the pictures from yesterday. I don't know what I did with them.
All right, sir, is there any other business to come before the board? Okay. Being none, we are dismissed.